Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Welcome back and welcome once again to the online technology dissemination and training series of BICARD in partnership with Bicol University Extension Management Division and the Philippine Association for Agriculturists, Bicol Canarium Ovatum Chapter. My name is Nicole and I will be your host for today's episode. Today, we will be having the second episode of the third season of this webinar series, and we will be covering the topic, bottling smoked sardines. Before I introduce our resource person for the said topic, may I invite everyone to join together for a prayer and the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Almighty, ever-living God, the most merciful and compassionate, we thank you for creation and the life you have given us. Together, we people of diverse religions, spiritual expressions and indigenous traditions, who invoke you by different names, humbly pray for your providence and protection, in the midst of the COVID crisis. Strengthen and guide government leaders, and private agencies, especially our administrators, faculty and staff, for the wisdom to do what is right and just. Enlighten the minds of students, that despite the educational limitations in this new normal, they may study diligently and effectively. Bless our families, remove our fears, and help us to trust in your love, so that by our example and generosity, we can inspire and help others. Grant all of us, especially the frontliners, good health and accept those who have died in your kingdom. Amen.
Mayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, anak ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisilip. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mabaga, may nilagang tulad, awit sa paglayang minamahal. Mag-isap ng matawat mo'y tagumpay na naglilinig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang mali magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng ating pagsinta, mo'y langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pamay mga pirang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Good afternoon once again, everyone. We encourage our viewers and participants to actively engage in this discussion by typing your comments and reactions in the comment section. We will consolidate them for our open forum later after the talk of our resource person. So comment lang po kayo ng questions and we will make sure that they are answered. Also, don't forget to register via the link provided in the comment section. We will provide it po. Kasi the email po that you will provide in the form, that's where we will send the link for the evaluation form which you will have to accomplish para mabigyan po kayo ng e-certificate after this program. So we will close the registration form right after we are done with the event. Kaya don't forget to register now and evaluate later. We will also close the evaluation form on Friday po. Okay, thank you so much everyone. Now, it is my honor to introduce to you our guest speaker for today. She is currently a university professor at Partido State University and acquired her doctorate at Bicol University Graduate School, majoring in educational management. She is a double degree holder both in her bachelor and her master's. She has a bachelor's degree in elementary education and a bachelor of science in fisheries, major in fish processing technology. For her master's, she has a master's in science education and a master's in fisheries, major in fish processing. As a university professor at Partido State University, she handles various research endeavors, and these include the lanternfish fermentation, bottling smoked sardines, and many more. But for today, she will be tackling bottling smoked sardines. To discuss about the said topic, I give you Dr. Myrna C. Bigueja. Ma'am, good afternoon po.
Good afternoon po.
Ayan, good afternoon, ma'am. Welcome
Good
po.
afternoon.
Ma'am, will you be presenting live po ba, ma'am?
Live po, live.
Okay po. You now have the floor po. Thank you so much po, ma'am.
I will be sharing my, okay. Nakikita na po ba?
Yes po, ma'am. Very visible po.
Okay, nakikita po. Okay,
Yes
good
po, ma'am.
afternoon to everyone. I am Dr. Myrna Bigueja of Partido State University, Sangay Campus. Today, this afternoon, I will be sharing to you how to make bottled canned smoked sardines. And this is our project and research. And at this moment, we are already commercialized this product. Okay, in my discussion, it will begin on the raw materials to be used, followed by the needed tools and equipment, the flavor enhancer and ingredients. The process will also be discussed and some insights after processing of the product. So what are the raw materials that we need? Of course, the free sardines and the smoked sardines. And why is it sardines that we are going to use? One, the facts of the sardines is the most important is that this is abundantly caught in the Bicol region, not only Bicol region throughout the Philippines. And this said to be sardines fish with a strong flavor and oily soap in texture. It is also rich in vitamins and minerals. It is also excellent source of calcium, and it has a natural source of marine omega-3 fatty acids. Since sardines are abundantly caught in the Philippines or in the Bicol region waters, hence there is a high output or net income if we invest in this kind of products. So, in the picture that you have seen in this slide, this is an example of picture in Sorsogon, Magallanes, Sorsogon, which tons of sardines are caught 2018 po. Yan po. Nakuha po yan dyan. Then, ito ay hindi na kayang bilhin, no? So, ang ginagawa na lang po, tinatapon na lang po. So, ito. And we also experience this in Pasakaw na nakukuha rito ang dami na pag hindi po nabibili, tinatapon na ulit sa dagat. So, kaya very important po itong gagamitin natin na raw materials na sardines. Then we come now to the different ingredients or tools and equipments to be used. First, of course, you need to acquire the different tools and equipment that you are going to use. Since this is a smoke product and put it in a bottles, you need a smoke house. The all-American pressure cooker, and you also need the glass sterilizer. And then of course, the very important also, the gas stove in the tank. We also need the canning tools, all kinds of weighing scale could be. We need to also use the canning rack or the charcoal. We need the knives and the scissors. We need all the measuring cups and measuring spoon. We need the colander. We need the stainless bowl. You need the cooking pot. And we need the stainless trays. And of course, there are a lot of containers that can be used in canning. But since we are using the bottle products, we use the glass jar, the 8-on glass jar. But if you use the 10 cans, you need the sealer. And the latest container used in canning, this is the Tetra Pak. Now, I also use the flavor enhancer for the product. I usually use the sampalok leaves, the lemongrass, and the pandan leaves. And there are different ingredients that are being used in this product. We did 1 kilo sardines fish, 6 to 7 pieces laurel, 20 to 30 pieces of peppercorn, 6 to 7 pieces red pepper, 4 pieces laurel, 1 piece of whole carrots and sliced thinly. We also need 1 piece whole pickles and also 1 liter vegetable oil. So these are the different ingredients that are added in bottling smoked sardines. Now we come to the basic steps, basic procedure in canning or bottling smoked sardines. The first is you need to prepare the flavor enhancer and wash it thoroughly. And after that, how to prepare that? For every 1 kilo of enhancer, you need to add 4 kilos, then boil for 30 minutes. Then you need also to weigh the fish. Then you need to sort and grade the fish. You have to separate the fresh to the spoiled fish, of course. You also to separate the small and medium size of the fish. Then the next is you have to remove or cut the head, the tails, the fins, and the internal organs of the fish. You can use scissors, you can use knives in removing the head and tails of the fins of the fish. Then after removing the heads and the tails, you need to wash them thoroughly. Then after washing the fish, the dressed fish, you need to brine the fish in a brine solution using the flavor enhancer. You still remember that you prepare the enhancer, you cook the enhancer. So you use that water that with the water coming from the boiled enhancer. You dissolve 1/4 cups of salt and 2 cups of water so that to make it 10% salt solution. Then you have to stir it thoroughly. Then after that, in order to preserve the fish, you have to soak them in the salt solution for 15 minutes. This will wash out the blood and fishy odor and absorb the flavor enhancer. Then afterwards, you have to grate it very well using the colander. Then the next is, while the fish is still soaking in a brine solution, you need to sterilize the bottles using the sterilizer. You can see that in this picture, the sterilizer. After brining, you have to arrange the fish in smoking tray and dry for 60 to 30 minutes, or depending the sunlight temperature. Then the next is, you have to smoke the fish for 1 hour at 200 degrees centigrade using the smokehouse. For us, mayroon po kaming smokehouse na re-registered po ang temperature. So it is for us to maintain that 200 degrees centigrade. For you, you can also avail or procure the smokehouse or magpagawa. Sa Naga, marami pong na gumagawa ng ng smokehouse. Or you can consult to the DOST, because DOST or BIFAR, because they are also giving the smokehouse. I do believe that right now the BIFAR is distributing smokehouse. The next is, you have to, while you are smoking the fish, you have now to start preparing the ingredients. No? So I told you what are the ingredients that are being used. Okay, sorry. We have the carrots, the garlic, etc. No. Then after preparing the ingredients, you have to arrange the fish in a sterilized glass jar. If the fish are small, put it pieces per bottle. If they are slightly bigger, 6 to 7 pieces. Then add the bay leaves and other ingredients. Then you can insert the knives while to remove the bubbles from the bottles. And then the most important, that you have to weigh the gross weight per glass jar, because each glass jar, there must give a uniform weight ang glass jar. And then this is now the next steps. After arranging the fish in the glass jar and putting the ingredients, you have to pour the corn oil up to the brim of the bottles. Then half seal the bottles, pour water in the pressure canner, and put the bottles over the metal wire. Then exhaust the product for 30 minutes. What is the meaning of exhausting? This is the removal of air and other gases in the food materials in the head space to reduce the incidence of non-enzymatic changes in fish product during storage, and to eliminate the tendency of the glass jar or the cans to explode to internal pressure during processing. So very important po ang exhausting. And the next step is process the product at 115 degrees centigrade or 121 degrees centigrade or 250 degrees Fahrenheit at 90 minutes during processing. No? This processing kills the microorganism. That's why this product can be kept for a very longer period of time. We have submitted this product already for a shelf life analysis, but until now, there was no result yet. So the processing time for 30 minutes, for 90 minutes, and the pressure of or the temperature of 115 degrees centigrade or 121 degrees centigrade is very important in the process in order to kill the microorganism. Next is, after processing, you have to take out the bottles from the pressure cooker. But of course, you should always use hand gloves or pot holder to sell the bottles immediately, because this is very, very hard. Remember that it was processed in a very high temperature. Then, after sealing the bottles, you have to hold the jars in an inverted position. This is to make sure that you have properly sealed the product and there is no leaking. After 24 hours, wash the bottles with soap and wipe them thoroughly. And then you can already keep it in this product. Next is, seal the bottles with a plastic sealer using the hair blower, or if there is no hair blower, you can use the candle or another. Yan. So anything that you can use to seal the product. Then of course, label the product, store in cold and dark places. So that is very simple. That is a very simple way of producing the bottled sardines. But of course, if you want this product to be your business, or to be used, if you want to invest this for a small enterprise, there is a need for you to complete the process, to complete the important things that you should know. So that's why sabi ko dito, what's next after processing? So ano ang gagawin natin pagkatapos po ng processing? Okay. So sabi po, people deserve healthier food. Okay. Kaya po, hindi po natatapos ang project na ito sa luntuan lang, o sa pagpa-process lang, o sa pagpuproduce lang ng bottled product. This is very important. The next step that you are going to do is the microbiology analysis. So very important po ito in order to ensure high quality and safe food products. Sabi nga, we all deserve healthier food. We all deserve for a safe food. Yan. So, now, maybe you will ask, how are we going to analyze the presence of microorganism in the product, and why is it that we need to submit our product for microbiology analysis? Why? Because we could determine if our product has the harmful bacteria, which is of course that can harm to the people once you eat this. So therefore, it is very, very important to determine the microbial analysis. Another term, microbial analysis, or we call it is sterility test. Sterility test. This is also very important, or commercial sterility test. Now, if you will ask, how could we undergo commercial sterility test or microbial analysis? If you don't have the laboratory for this, you can go to the Department of Science and Technology in Region 5. They are accepting this kind of analysis, but of course, you need to pay. You need to pay. But they don't have the commercial sterility test. For us, we submit it to the DSP Manila. So, pwede po itong gawin sa pero sabi niyo gaano kamahal? O, mahal talaga. May presyo talaga. Pero ang importante, sigurado natin na safe yung product natin pag nag-undergo sa commercial sterility test. Okay? So that is the most important for microbial analysis. And the next is the sensory evaluation. Before, right immediately the processing of the product, sensory evaluation is immediately done. But for the new methodology or new guidelines, sensory evaluation is done after microbiological analysis. Why? This is to safeguard the evaluator or the sensory evaluator panelist. Para mas safe po ang ating mga nag-sensory, yung mga nagpapanel, nagte-test ng ating product. So, kasi baka mayroong E. coli ang iyong may Clostridium botulinum, itong pinaka deadly na bacteria. Kung mayroon, di mamamatay yung nag-test ng iyong product. Kaya to safeguard the evaluator or the sensory evaluation panelist, first, una, microbial analysis. Once it is safe ang product mo, then immediately you need to undergo or to submit your product for sensory evaluation. Now, what is sensory evaluation? Sabi po ng mga scientists or mga food microbiologists, food scientists, it is a scientific discipline that analyzes and measure human responses to the composition and nature of food and drinks. Sensory evaluation does not just deal with likes and dislikes, sabi dyan, or okay or not okay. But the process scientifically elicits, measures, analyzes, and interprets psychological or physiological responses to the physical stimuli to produce by a food product. Now, it is also a discipline used to evoke, measure, analysis, and interpret reaction to those characteristics of food and materials as they are perceived by senses of sight, smell, taste, and hearing. So, ginagamit po ng mga evaluator itong human senses. So, mayroon tayong 5 na senses. So, sabi na rin, sense of sight. Yan, the use of our eyes and brain to detect the electromagnetic waves within the visible range of light and interpret the images. So ano ang nadidetermine po ng ating sense of sight? The color, the shine, the shape, the size, and the texture of the product. So nakikita po, nadidetermine po yan. And we also use our nose, sense of smelling. So nadidetermine natin yung volatile flavor substances. And we use our tongue to test the product, whether it is cold, whether it is hot, whether it is warm, whether it is either astringent or either bitter or salty or sweet. So we use our tongue to determine whether this product is acceptable. It has an acceptable flavor and taste. Ito. So, and also, our tongue also, it could also determine the texture of the product. So, nagagamit din po yan. Then another most commonly sometimes there are questions, did we use our sense of hearing and sensory evaluation? But of course, we use it, our sense of hearing and evaluation and sensory evaluation of our food. Paano? So we can use the sense of hearing, for example, the crackle sound, the powering sound, the bubbling sound, the popping sound. So, kailangan po yan. So, nagagamit pa rin natin ang sense of hearing. And of course, the last is the sense of touch, the sense of feeling. So, yan po ang mga ginagamit natin sa sensory. Maybe you will ask, who are the qualified sensory evaluator? Now, depende. Kung sa research po ang pag-uusapan, depende po. Pero, mayroon po tayong mga expert na nag-evaluate ng sensory, ng product, na nag-undergo po ng training. So, it is not very easy to evaluate the product if you did not undergo training. Ang sinasabing expert po yan, kung expert ka po, pwede po ang research mo na 10 lang. Kung mga expert po ang yung mga evaluator sa food product mo, pwede lang 10. Pero, mayroon din po tayong tinatawag na consumer evaluation. Ang tanong, sino ba yung magpo-consume ng product mo? Oh. Lahat bang klase? Kinakain ba ito ng mga bata? Kinakain ba ito ng mga teenagers? Kinakain ba ito ng mga matanda? Kinakain mo ba ito? So, ibig sabihin, anybody pwede pong mag-sensory or maging sensory panelist ng iyong product. Ang tawag natin yan sa consumer. Consumer ang ginamit natin na paraan. So, kaya minsan po, may nakikita po kayo sa mga market o sa mga mall, sa mga grocery na nagpapatikim ng mga new products. So, ibig sabihin po ito mga developed product. Pupunta sila sa market kasi nandiyan ang halos lahat na klase na consumer, pinapatikim nila yung product nila. That is one of strategy to evaluate the product. If your product is acceptable or not acceptable. So, then why is it that we need to evaluate this product for sensory evaluation? This is also to help us to determine what are some improvement that you can also apply in your product. Ang tinatawag natin yan doon so standardization or optimization of your product. Dapat ma-optimize ang process ng product. Ilan ba talagang salt ang gamitin natin? Ilan ba talagang sugar? ilan ba talagang mga ingredients, ilang ang measurement na mga ingredients ilalagay natin. So that magkaroon tayo ng standard. Ito, common ko po itong sinasabi po sa mga estudyante ko kung nagtuturo pa ako. Bakit kailangan ang standard formula? Bakit kailangan i-optimize ang process? Why? Kasi para mabinta yung product mo, para hindi magbago-bago ang lasa. Sabi ko nga, wherever you go in the world, sa Manila, sa Amerika, sa Japan, sa Singapore, kung may Jollibee doon, ang Jollibee, ang Chicken Joy, pareho ang lasa na nakain mo sa Pilipinas kung nagpunta ka sa US. Bakit ganon? Ayan. Sapagkat mayroong standard formula na ginagamit. Now, very important po itong sensory evaluation para makuha natin po ang standard formulation ng inyong product. So, that's why we need to undergo sensory evaluation. Kung gusto mo pong mag-improve sa business mo, kung gusto mo po talaga mabili ang yung product, ito ang gagawin mo. Magkanda ka ng sensory para makakuha ka po ng ma-optimize mo yung formula mo. Para pag nabili yung product mo sa Manila o sa ibang bansa, ay, galing ito sa Bicol region, doon ito nalasahan. So alam na ang product mo galing sa Bicol region kasi may standard tayong process. Okay po? And the next, nutritional analysis. So, very important po itong nutritional analysis. This process determines the nutritional content of food product. It is vital part of analytical chemistry that provides information about the chemical composition, the processing, the quality control, and contamination of food. This is also to ensure compliance with trade and food laws. So, very important po yan. At usually, nilalagay po ito sa label ng iyong product. So, kaya kailangan po, i-subject mo po ang product mo sa nutritional analysis para nakikita po ng mga consumer kung ano within that product. Ano ba ang makukuha ko dyan ng nutrients sa product na yan? So, very important po ito. Ang daming gagawin. Ano po? Next is the shelf life analysis. Why? Bakit mayroon pang shelf life analysis? Kasi sabi nga, what is this the shelf life of food is the length of time that product is acceptable and meets consumer expectation regarding its quality. However, of course, the quality of food, most foods decreases over time, and there is the natural need to evaluate for how long this product will remain their commercial value. So very important po. Kung makikita niyo po, ang picture dyan po, itong ng apple, tingnan nyo. So, dapat i-determine mo kailan magiging hindi na acceptable sa iyo ang product. So, kailangan po i-determine yan. And then, kailangan po din ma-determine mo ang shelf life analysis kasi ilalagay mo yun doon sa label mo kung hanggang kailan ang expiry date ng product mo. So, very important po yan. Another, shelf life testing is designed to provide an objective measure of the quality factors that define the food in the point at which failure occurs. This failure is the point of which the food exhibits physical, chemical, microbiological, or sensory characteristics that are unacceptable to the consumer. So, very important. Unfortunately lang po, our products has been submitted already for shelf life analysis sa DST Manila since 2018. 3 years na po. Just recently, nag-follow up ako kung pwede ko nang makuha po yung result ng shelf life analysis ng product namin na sinadmit sa kanila. Until now daw, it is undergoing pa ng analysis. Hindi pa tapos. So, ibig sabihin, yung product namin na ito, pwede po siyang mag-last na more than 2 years. Kasi sabi nila, pag hindi po siya stable ang product, ibabalik sa amin yung product. So, hindi na sila magpapatuloy ng pag-analyze ng shelf life analysis. So, yan po, very important po ito para mailagay natin sa ating level kung hanggang kailan siya mabubulok o hanggang siya pwedeng acceptable pa sa consumer. So, very important po. And next, of course, food labeling. No, very important po ang product natin, may label. So, labeling is any written, electronic, or graphic communication with the packaging or on a separate but associated label. This also display of information about a product on its container, packaging, or product itself. So, very important din po itong may food label. So, parang ang daming gagawin po sa isang product lang. Now, what is the objective of food labeling? First, number 1 is a brand identification. So, kailangan po, mayroon tayong ma-identify natin through brand name. That identification meaning labeling helps in the identification and principal place of business of the person by or for whom the packaged product was manufactured, processed, produced, or packaged for sale. Yeah. It also for description. Label provides the information regarding the food product. It describes the contents, nutritional values, cost, products, usage methods, and the shelf life, etc. So yan ang pinaka-objectives ng food labeling. Now, and the third one is for promotion. So very, very important po ang label for promotion of your product. How will you promote your product if you don't have the brand name? If you don't have the trade name? If you don't have the label of your product? So, promotion. So, finally, labels in promoting the products through attractive and bright graphics, replacing paper, labels, load, and cans, and bottles. Actually po, ang food labeling, that is one semester to be studied. So, ang dami po na very important po yung sa labeling. Isa po yan sa part ng lesson sa food safety, ang labeling. So, ito mga ibinibigay ko lang sa inyo, mga basic lang po itong knowledge. And what are the parts of label? Ano ba nalalagay ko sa label? Tanong kayo kung ano ba yon? So, kailangan po ang labels natin mayroong brand name. For your product is one of the most important components. It is the name by which your product will be referred to, as about, and recommend to. Now, paano ka gumawa ng brand name? So, pag nag-apply ka po sa DTI ng business of your product for small scale, small medium enterprise, hinihingi sa iyo yung brand name. Magbibigay ka ng brand name. Paano ang paggawa ng brand name, pag-isip ng brand name? So, mayroon pong criteria kung paano ang brand name, paggawa ng brand name. Una po, dapat madaling mabasa, madaling maintindihan, madaling ma-memorize. Yan. Kailangan madali, hindi yung na hindi mo ma-memorize o hindi mo ma-pronounce ang brand name mo. So, kahit maliit na bata, kilala. Jollibee, Jollibee, ganon. So, madali niyang maalala. So, McDo, madali, ganon. So, yan ang paggawa ng card. Ang isa pang criteria, dapat walang kapareho. Walang kaparehong name, walang katunog. Yan, nag-try po ako nag-apply sa DTI ng aking brand name. Isa kong brand name na linagay, MacBig. May rason ako bakit MacBig. So, ang pangalan ko, Myrna Cabarles Bigueja. So, shortcut ko lang, MC Big. So, MacBig ang kan. Hindi po siya na-allow, hindi po siya na-aprobahan. Bakit? May katunog. Maraming katunog. McDo, katunog. Bigs, katunog. So, hindi pwede po yon. So, pipili po tayo ng mga brand name na walang kapareho, walang katunog. Kasi pag may kapareho, pwede kang kasuhan. Lalo na po kung yung brand name mo IP registered na. Ibig sabihin, na-registered na po sa intellectual property rights. So, hindi pwede yan. And then, another po, na isang criteria pa rin sa paggawa ng brand name, yung may meaning. May meaning. Ano po? So, ano mga masarap, may mga ganon na magic, magic sarap. May meaning siya. Pag ginamit mo ito, magic, nagkakaroon ng biglaang nakakaakit o napakasarap. Kaya magic sarap. So, ganon, may meaning ka. Ano ang gusto mong meaning nito ng product mo? So, pag kinain mo ito bang bottled sardines, ano ang masasabi mo? So, pwede pong ganon. May mga meaning. Kasi pag nag-apply ka sa intellectual property rights, papabigyan ng meaning po yung iyong name na napili. Okay? So, yan. Number 1, parts of the label. And, number 2 is the product name. Ayan. You'll need to describe exactly what is on the label so consumer clear understand what they are buying. For example, when we sell black oils, we need to explain what kind of oil. Is it olive oil? It is canola oil? It is soybean oil? It is coconut oil? It is pili oil? Etc. So, lalagay mo dyan. And then what grade of oil is on top of that extra virgin oil, etc. So, kailangan mo o kaya ano ba yung product mo? Anong product mo? So, yun nga sabi ko, bottled smoked sardines. Iba naman po yung bottled sardines or bottled smoked sardines in oil, bottled smoked sardines in Spanish style, bottled sardines and coconut oil. So iba po ang bottled sardines and corn oil. Iba naman po yung bottled smoked sardines in oil. Bakit? Kasi yung sardines, pig-smoke mo. Yung bottled sardines in oil, hindi mo pig-smoke. So, kailangan malaman po, nakalagay sa label mo para alam kung ano ang nandoon sa product mo. So, ganun po. Next, packaging size. Of course, the packaging size. You will need to list the packaging size of your product on the label, whether it is 55 gallons or ounce, etc. The size will need to be listed in both English or in metric units. Make sure that you include both. So, pwede po maglagay ka ng metric units or English units. So, kailangan po ano ang nakalagay doon. Ano ang size o kaya ano ang volume na anong nakalagay doon sa iyong product. Kung ilang ounce. Usually tinitingnan natin yan, di ba? Sa mga pagbibili natin ng mga product natin. Ilang kilo ba ito? 1 kilo? Minsan naluloko tayo. Half kilo ngayon, half kilo, pero nakalagay pala doon sa product niya 250 grams lang. O kaya, ang 1/2 kilo, 50 grams. Pero nakalagay lang pala doon, 400 grams. Pero akala natin, half kilo. Pero yung pala, 400 grams lang. Hindi umabot sa 1 kilo. And then, of course, ito, very important din sa label mo, Universal Product Code or barcode. Your product will need to have a barcode if there's any chance you will be selling in a store. O kung gusto mong i-export, gusto mong ibenta yung product mo sa malls, sa mga malls, kailangan po ma-secure tayo ng barcode. Saan? Pwede po tayo pumunta sa DTI, magtanong kung paano tayo makasecure ng barcode. Yan. And then, pwede rin po kita mag-attend ng kanilang training dito sa barcoding. Na? So, ito ini-scan po ito. Madali lang po kasi pag may barcode na yan, madali po ma-recognize kung how much ang price ng iyong product. So, very important din po yun. Pero of course, sa mga nagsisimula pa lang po nang maggawa ng mga product ito, kahit wala muna ng barcode. So, kung ibibenta lang pala, nagtatry ka pa lang kung mga pasalubong, yun sa makita natin yan sa pasalubong center, ang dami. Ako nga nakita ko sa Legazpi, itong bottled sardines ito na oil, 250 per bottle. Samantalang po ako, binibinta ka lang po 120 bottles. Smoke pa yan. So why? Because nagagamit po kami ng mura ang price ng purchase. And then the next is the company name, city, state, and zip code. So very important din po ito kung saan po ito ginawa para ma-recognize po ang product mo. Kung galing po ba ito sa Bicol region, galing ba ito sa Pilipinas, anong company po ito. So this is one also very important for promoting your product. So they should have a company name. Yeah. Then you have to state the city, kung saan po na ginawa ito. Then, mayroon din po tayong any certification. Kung nakakuha ka po sa Food Drug Administration ng certification. For example, non-GMO certified, kosher certified, or organic certified. So, pwede mo po ito ilagay sa label mo. That is very important po na linalagay po itong mga certification. This is also one way to promote your product or to advertise your product. Usually po itong mga certification natin, nakikita natin ito doon sa mga supplement food. Mayroon po yun ang mga certification from FDA. So, yan po ang sa pang linalagay sa food label. And of course, we need to also to use the nutritional information. Okay. So sabi ko kanina, after sensory evaluation, you need to submit your product for nutritional analysis. Why? Because we need to put it in our label ang nutritional information, or we call it nutritional facts. So, ito po ang example nito. Ito po ang linalagay dyan kung ano po. And then, saan po kayo pwede magpa-test ng inyong product? Magpa-determine ng nutritional facts ng inyong product. Sa DST again. Sa DST 5 po, mayroon na po sila ng mga gamit para ma-test ang nutritional facts ng iyong product. So, yan po ang pwedeng gawin. So, after that, masubmit ka lang po ng iyong product doon, and then iti-testing done, and they will give you the result of the analysis. And This one is the nutritional facts of our product. Ito po. Itong products po. Mayroon na po kami sa label nito. Ito po ang resulta ng aming nutritional facts ng aming product. Itong bottle smoked sardines. And this is also the approximate chemical content. So mayroon po siyang 15.48 na protein. May carbohydrates po siya. And may fat po siya 36.75. Why the fat is very high? Because that is sabi ko nga kanina, ang one packs ng sardines is high in fat. Then ito po ang mineral content ng aming product. So that's it. Thank you once again. If you have some question, you can contact me in my email, cabarlis.soreda@gmail.com. Thank you very much. Napatagal ako.
Ayan. Okay lang po, ma'am. Very interesting naman po yung discussion ninyo. And madaming questions na po actually, ma'am, sa comment section. Madami na po, ma'am. Ay, ano ko na lang po, ma'am, i-question ko po sa inyo para isa-isa po natin. Okay, thank you so much po, ma'am. And madami na din po pala, ma'am, nagre-request ng PowerPoint presentation. So, for those who are requesting po, you can contact ma'am naman po sa email po na provide niya. And very, naman po si madam, nag-answer po agad yan.
No problem. You can email me and you can contact me in my Facebook, Myrna Bigueja, Myrna C. Bigueja.
Ayan, thank you so much, ma'am. So sa lahat po ng nagko-question, you can contact ma'am na lang. Thank you po. So sa questions naman po, ma'am, punta na po tayo sa ating questions. Yes po. Hindi naman po, ma'am. Sakto lang naman po. Okay. Ma'am, sa po, I just want to ask this po, ma'am. What started the project po, yung pag-bottle ng smoked sardines? Kung ano po yung inspiration behind the project?
Wow, so the inspiration po, since graduate po ako ng fisheries, major in fish processing, and then when I transferred in Shanghai campus offering the fishery course, and I was designated as CWC director. What is this CWC? Coastal and Wetland Center in our university. So this is one reason why I conducted this. And then of course, the university or all ICUCs are required to commercialize the products. The only thing that you can commercialize a product is to develop a certain product na to be commercialized by the university. And then another thing is I want also to help the fisher groups to have their additional income. And then ito man talaga ang hilig ko. Mag-discover. Mayroon na ako, ma'am, na battle tuna with pili.
With pili po, ma'am. So,
with pili na. May mga makita ka naman, mag-browse ka lang po sa internet, mga na-publish ko na po yan. Parang ganun po. Ang sa kuya yung inspiration. And of course, love for work.
Yes naman, ma'am.
Love for work.
Yan, thank you so much po, ma'am, for answering that question. May question din po dito, ma'am, from Bicard, na curious po, kung anong type of sardines daw po, ma'am, ang ginagamit ninyo?
Ang type of sardines na ginagamit ko, kasi iba-ibang pangalan po kaya ng sardines. Yung ang ginagamit po namin dito, Sardinilla longicis.
Okay.
Ang tinatawag nila lawlaw, iba-iba kaya, may lawlaw, may turay, may lawlaw, may turay. Pero lahat naman na klase na sardines pwedeng gamitin. Depende kung ano po ang available na supply po, nahuhuli. Depende po. Pero ang common po na ginagamit ko po yung tinatawag nilang lawlaw o turay. Sardinilla longisit, itong oily po. Oily.
Opo,
Pero
ma'am.
yung ginamit mo po sa pasakaw, yung medyo maliliit pa, pero sardines na rin.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much po. Ayan po. May naka-raise ng hand po. Si Ma'am Riza po.
Ma'am
You are
Risa,
recognized po.
yes
Good afternoon
po.
po.
Ma'am Risa.
Afternoon. Oo,
Afternoon po.
we're very thankful na to be part of this online training. Very helpful siya, especially yung gusto at naghahanap ng mag-business. So tanong ko lang po, kasi I've really been planning to go into canning, either cooked foods or katulad nito mga sardines or fruits and vegetables. And then, tatanong ko lang po, yung mga pinakita niyo sa slide na mga canning materials, kailangan po ba kompleto yun? Or is there like basic materials na kailangan meron ka nito na hindi pwedeng wala? Or kailangan talaga kompleto yun?
Kung as much as possible, kompleto. Pero ang pinaka-importante po doon, ang pressure cooker. Pressure cooker po, saka yung gas stove, and the smokehouse. Yeah, very important po yan. And of course, the measuring spoon, measuring cups, and the
measuring spoon, opo.
Kasi po, ang very important ng mga weighing scale po, kasi dapat ang mapoproduce mo po na product, pare-pareho ang timbang niya. Kaya mayroon ka po nun. So, you cannot process the product, especially po na isda, no po. Sa low acid po kasi ang isda, kaya kailangan po may pressure cooker. Not like po, halimbawa, santol. Common po ngayon ang santol, di ba, na nasa bottle. Pwede po siyang walang pressure cooker. Ipapasteurize lang mo using the kettle or yung kaldero. Pwede na po yan. Why? Kasi yung santol po, high in acid. Pero sa isda po, hindi pwede. Hindi po pwede po sa isda. Kaya po, very important po yung pressure cooker na bilhin mo.
Okay po, follow up po. Yung banggit niyo pong, ano tawag nun, kaldero, yung term po yata doon is bathing. Bathing. Tama po ba?
Basin po. Ako niyan, ang basin po planggana yun.
Okay. So, kasi po na may nadaanan na ako, pero hindi pa ako in-depth na, hindi ko pa in-depth inaaral or binabasa yung canning methods. Ngayon po, meron daw pong iba-ibang klase ng pressure cooker or pang-canning. Ano po ba yung, may grade po ba yun? May brand? Or depende sa product na gagawin mo?
Ang pinagamit po sa canning ng fish, All-American pressure cooker. Pressure canner. All-American pressure canner.
Brand po yun?
Yes. Lahat naman po yan ang ginagamit sa lahat ng industry. Lahat po ako po nag-evaluate po ako. Isa po akong evaluator ng setup project ng DOST. Yan po palagi ang recommend namin. Marami po kaming foods na mga na-evaluate na project ang DOST na nagpa-process. So yan po talaga na all-American pressure cooker made of aluminum po. Mabigat po yan.
Aluminum po. Hindi po ba maganda yung stainless steel?
Ay, hindi po.
Hindi po ba nagli-leak yung glass into an aluminum? Kasi ako po, napag-alaman ko na usually yung mga materials ng mga cooking utensils natin, nagli-leak siya. Although, syempre, sealed naman yung ilalagay natin dito.
Ay, hindi po siya nagli-leak kasi ma'am, makapal po ang all-American pressure cooker eh. All-American pressure canner. Tingnan yung nakita mo po sa slide ko, yun pong klase. Pwede ulit po ako mag-screen.
Okay naman po kung yung sinasabi niyo all-American pressure cooker brand uses an aluminum type. But have you encountered po yung stainless steel type?
Hindi po. Wala. Hindi po talaga hindi po talaga rini-recommend po.
I
Maski po
see.
kahit
Thank
po ang Food
you.
Drug Administration hindi po
I
nagre-recommend sa
see. Mas
ganyan.
recommended pala. So, yung,
Oo.
are you saying po na lahat ng
Kasi
pressure
po,
cooker
itong,
brand
opo.
are
Kasi po
using
yung,
aluminum?
high cast, ang gamit kaya doon, ma'am, sa material nila, high cast aluminum. Yan. Eh, yung All-American Pressure Canner po kaya, nare-registered, ma'am, dyan ang time and temperature na hanggang sa 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Ang taas talaga ng sa pressure.
Saan po nabibili itong brand na to, All American Pressure Can?
Madong po, marami po pwede kang mag-click sa Shopee.
Okay po. Thank
Pwede po,
you.
ma'am, yung Shopee. Mayroon po All American Pressure Canner. Iba-ibang size man yan, ma'am. Mayroong iba-ibang size niyan. Ang gamit ni po 41 point cubic ang mayroong maliit, mayroong malaki, mayroon lang na siyam lang ang mayroon naman 100 na bottles ang nakalagay. So depende po. You can ma'am, invite me to train you how to process using the All American Pressure Cooker.
Ayan, thank you so much po, Ma'am Riza. And we have another question po, another one na naka-raise ng hand, si Ma'am Girly Naval po. Ma'am, you are recognized po.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dr. Myrna. I'm from Camarines Norte State College. I am an active faculty extensionist, ma'am. We also have our Institute of Fisheries and Marine Sciences in our campus. And we are actually also doing some bottling, but we are not yet that successful like your university po. So we would like to ask for your expert advice. If first is, how did it proceed with the research? Is the fish processing started with the research process? And second, if we are to seek funding from BICARD, paano po yung process and requirement? Thank you, Dr. Myrna.
Thank you, ma'am, sa question mo po. Very important po yan sa atin na question mo. Ma'am, ang pinaka number one mong gagawin, una, prepare your proposal. Proposal ang very important. Pag hindi po na-approve sa PICARD, marami po pwede mong isubmit sa DShared, sa PICARD. Dito po sa PICARD, pwede ka mag-seek ng funding. Pag hindi po yan, pwede po sa institutional funding po. Pwede po yan Ang very important lang ang yung proposal. So you cannot start the research without the proposal.
Okay. May I know po, Dr. Myrna, whom to personally contact once we have prepared the proposal already?
Ma'am, you can contact me. You can contact the Partido University Research Division po, ma'am. Kasi ma'am,
Okay.
ang proposal po sa food processing is different from other proposal. Iba
Okay.
po ang format, iba po ang paggawa ng yung mga social science na proposal. So, you can invite me, ma'am, through our research, Vice President sa research, si Ma'am Pat
Yes, ma'am.
Candelaria.
Sige
Pwede
po,
mapunta.
sige po. I'll
Tanungin mo na
email
lang
you po, ma'am.
si Sir Namani, kasi friend ko po si Sir Namani.
Manny Alberto po.
Alberto po, opo. Manny
Okay.
Alberto.
Sige po, Dr. Myrna. Thank you so much po. Okay po.
Welcome po.
Ayan, thank you so much po, Ma'am Girly. So we have another one who is raising his hand po from Bicol University.
Tapos na po, ang dami na.
Opo, madami-dami, ma'am. From Tabaco Campus po, si Sir John Michael Yula. Sir, you are recognized po.
Hello, Sir
Okay,
John.
thank you, Ms. Moral. Okay, good afternoon, Doc.
Good afternoon
So,
po.
so in connection lang po dun sa question po kasi ni Ma'am Lisa with regards to the use of all-American pressure canner. So kasi
Yes.
I am also engaging battling, okay, products, say for example, bang sardines, yung in tomato sauce, including the in corn oil. Okay. Just in case po ma'am, just say for example, di ba kasi yung uh, all American homes, so parang expensive, okay? If you, say for example, if you're going to buy it personally, so parang medyo ma-pressure yung pressure canner. So can we use the ordinary pressure cooker to thermally process such bottled product? Kasi kung tinitingnan ko kasi ma'am, di ba, pag gumagamit po tayo ng pressure canner using the all-American pressure canner, so may tinatawag tayong, di ba po, yung required pressure. So yung
Yes.
may 10, may 15 pounds.
Mhm.
Di ba po sa pressure cooker, walang ganon. So paano natin ma-apply yung principle ng pressure canner dun sa pressure cooker po ma'am?
Alam mo po, sir, actually, wala naman talagang pressure canner or itong all-American pressure cooker na
Apo.
develop ito yung technology. Pero po si Nicholas Appert, yan ang una po naka-discover ng canning. Inuto na niyang sa saksang kettle po yung product in 6 hours.
Ano po ba?
Yan po ang pwede po gawin. Ang tawag natin yan ngayon sa technology, water bath cooking. So, ibig sabihin, you have to cook the product for a long period of time in a kettle or in any cooking bath. Pwede po yan. So, matagal po. Pero we cannot very sure for the quality of the product. Kasi hindi nga natin. Kasi using the pressure cooker, na-maintain natin ang kukuha natin yung na-release natin yung pressure, yung temperature, and then pwede natin ma-maintain ang time kung na-maintain natin yung pressure. So yan ang ang worth ma'am ng malaking sir na yung malaking pressure cooker na ginagamit natin 50 to 60,000. Madali lang po ma'am, sir ka na, di ba sa BUTC ka?
Yes po ma'am.
Just include in your proposal that equipment because include yan. Ang bibili po niyan ang university. Yes.
Yes
Ako po,
po.
ang lahat po, sasabihan ko po kayo, nang nagpunta ko sa campus, ang kulang po ang mga equipment. But when I started to work in ParSU Sangay campus, I just prepare the project proposal. And now, marami na po akong equipment sa laboratory ko po. Yun, di ba, yun, kailangan pa rin yung sterilizer. Kailangan mo pa yung sterilizer ng pan. Pwede ka, i-include mo na rin po yun sa proposal mo po.
Okay.
Kung
Tapos,
personal mo, yan talaga. Bibili ka ng sarili.
okay. I am parang alternative po, ma'am kasi. For example, during the classes, for example, nagtuturo sa mga estudyante. So, pwede bang gamitin yung pressure cooker sa bahay nila to prepare a bottled product. So, kasi di ba, parang limited pa, hindi pa ganun pwedeng yung mga estudyante to process the product. So, parang possible ba yung alternative na pressure cooker sa bahay nila, yung pag-process ng product?
Pero kailangan, para sa atin po, mas maganda na kung magtuturo ka sa estudyante, yung pressure canner na talaga ang gamitin mo.
Apo, yes po ma'am.
Pressure canner po talaga. Kasi sir, ano yan? Pwede, kahit po hindi sa research, pwede naman po i-request yan as kung nasa laboratory ka, food laboratory ka, pwede mo po yan i-include sa
Yes po ma'am. Tapos another question now regarding po dun sa parang nabanggit mo na so we can possible request dun, nakita ko kasi ma'am yung parang cabinet type smokehouse ninyo. So pwede bang mag-request din using a proposal din dun sa?
Yes.
Apo.
Na-fabricate mo po yan dito sa Naga. nakalimutan ko lang yun. Nakalimutan ko lang. Hindi ko na lista. Yung kung saan namin pinapag-fabricate.
Okay.
Kulji ata, kulji. Ganon. Tanaga. Fabricate po. Napapabricate nito.
Okay po. Thank
Yun
you.
yung nakita mo po na smokehouse namin, made of stainless po yun.
Opo.
Kulayan lang namin na grill. And then mayroon din po ito na nami-maintain din doon ang temperature.
Thank you po, Doc.
Okay po. Sige po. Thank you din.
Thank you po, Sir John Michael. Feeling ko po may follow-up po si Ma'am Riza.
Ang Lisa.
Thank you po. I'm really interested to get into this po. Doon sa na-notes ko po na lahat ng kailangan gawin like food microbiology analysis by DOST, sensory evaluation, nutritional analysis, shelf life analysis, food labeling. Mga roughly po, magkano po yung mga magagasto dito? Estimate.
Estimate po. Ang pinaka mahal po na price po sa nutritional analysis and shelf life analysis po. Ang matagal po kaya ang shelf life analysis po. Pero mga 40,000 to 50,000 budget mo po diyan. Kasi saka po pag nag-shelf life analysis ka, ang dami pong requirements na product. Sa amin po, required sa amin 150 bottles. Ang sila po sa kanila.
And then the whole process po, itong from 1 to 5, mga ilang, po yung lead time niya to undergo all of this?
Kasi ma'am sa analysis, lalo na kung isasubmit mo sa DOST, depende po kasi sa DOST. Kaya kung nagpaplano ka po, magpa-schedule ka kaagad kasi ang dami silang tinitest. Actually po ma'am, mayroon kaming product ngayon, itong lantern fish, itong serum na fermented serum. Mayroon kaming, actually nabayadan namin na po sa nutritional analysis po ng serum. Hindi pa nila tinatanggap yung product namin kasi punong-puno pa ang laboratory nila. Hindi pa sila makatanggap. Kaya po kung nagpaplano ka, gagawa ka po, ahead of time po ma'am, magpa-schedule ka na sa kanila kung kailan. Kasi hindi natin ma-determine kung kailan ma-analyze. Actually po, May 23, nag-submit po kami ng product namin for microbial analysis po doon sa patis and bagoong na ginawa namin. Hanggang ngayon po wala pang resulta sa DOST po. Nag-i-schedule po kaya ang DOST. Kahit po sa Maynila, punong-puno rin sa kanila kasi naglilink po sila sa DTI. May marami pong small enterprise na pinagpipinance po ng DTI. Tapos may MOA sila na basta project po ng DTI, inuuna po ng DOST. Kaya po, pwede ka po magpatulong sa DTI para mauna. Una ka rin po. Ganun po.
Okay po. And then lastly po, itong parts of label, sabi niyo po, check with DTI. Pero po, ang gagawa nito sample sa mga printing press na lang or kung marunong ka mismo mag-layout, tapos basta every information included na or i-approve po talaga siya ng DTI.
Pag ma-apply ka po kayo ng business sa DTI, tatanungin ko anong pangalan ng brand name mo. So, may lalagay ka doon na 3 brand name na i-approve nila. Ibig sabihin, yan na po ang magiging brand name mo sa DTI. Ngayon sa pagpa-design naman po ng label mo, mayroon po rin ang DOST na free na nagbibigay sila ng design. At mayroon po sa Manila, kung gusto mo talaga maganda, kasi mayroon pong sinusunod sila kung paano anong ilalagay. Kasi kahit yung color, may ibig sabihin po yan. Kung anong product, may ibig sabihin po yan sa pag-design. Sa DOST naman po, sa food packaging sa Manila, mayroon po doon na nag-design. Pero mabayad ka po. Parang ang
food packaging.
Sa packaging po. Parang 1,000 plus ang bayad po sa pag-design. Sila mismong magdi-design, ilalagay na dyan lahat na po. Tapos pupunta ka na lang po sa printing press para pa i-design mo po yan. Ang prime printing press po, nag-print po sila ng mga labels. So, mas maganda pa rin po na doon sa expert tayo magpagawa ng design.
Thank you so much po.
Opo, welcome po.
Ayan, thank you so much po, Ma'am Riza, and thank you po sa ating active participants. Sa comment section naman po tayo, Ma'am. May few questions din po kasi dito.
Opo, ang dami nga
Opo, madami po talaga, Ma'am, interested. Ito po, Ma'am, from Sir Brian Bugarin sa sensory evaluation po. What is the difference daw po between trained and semi-trained panelists in evaluating the product?
Pag sinabi pong trade, so makakabigbigayan po yan talagang exact talaga na yan, quality kang yung product. Parang talaga nang sinasabi kung talagang mataas yan kung mataas ang sweetness niyan, ang alat niyan. Na determine kasi yan, may train po yan. Ako po nag-train 1 week po sa food authority sa Manila. Di ako nakapasa. Pero pwede po ako pwede po ako ma-invite na mag-sensory. Pero hindi ako nabigyan nila kasi may mga testing po yan, mahirap. Kaya kung ang pang-business po talaga, ang product mo, kailangan talaga ang gawin mo, mag-invite ka po ng expert na panelist po. Mapunta ka po doon sa food, sa authority, nakalimutan ko. Basta na sa Taguig po yan. Ibigay ko na lang po kasi may mga certificate po kaya, ibigay ko na lang po kung saan ka pwede mag-invite ng panel. Yan. So,
Yes po.
ang kagandahan naman po sa consumer, sa consumer, kasi yun ang consumer panelist, yun ang bibili ng yung product, no? So itong mga expert kaya, so lalo na sa mga research, mga scientifically talagang ipoproduce mo talaga yan, ipapublish mo, kailangan talaga expert. Pero kung isa business po, sino ba yung magbibili ng yung product? 'Di ba? Yung consumer mo. Paano kung ang gusto ng consumer mo matamis, tapos ang linot po hindi matamis, di ba? Ang gusto ng consumer mo na ganito ang texture ng product mo, pero yung texture hindi. So, mas maganda pa rin ang consumer. Pero kaya lang sa consumer, ang dami mong kailangan. More than hundreds na panelists po. Yan.
Okay, thank you so much po, Ma'am. Ito po, Ma'am, another question po under sensory evaluation from Ma'am Anne-Marie Carion. How important is the use of sensory evaluation score sheet, 9-point hedonic scale or 5-point scale versus the type of panelist? Example daw po, student thesis, is it okay to use 9-point hedonic while the panelists are just students, construction workers, etc.?
Kung magagamit ka po ng hedonic na 9-point, dapat sa lahat po yan ang gagamitin mo para walang discrimination. Kung gagamit ka sa student 9-point hedonic, 9-point hedonic rin doon sa mga expert gagamitin mo. Pero ang mga food technologies, ang require talaga ay yung 9-point hedonic. Yun po. Marami po kaya na strategy na pwede mong gamitin yan. Depende naman sa approach nito. Tapos maraming different types may triangle test, may comparison, depende rin po. Depende po doon sa proposal mo kung anong gagamitin mo po na sensory types.
Okay po, Ma'am. Thank you so much po, and I hope that answers the question po of our viewers. And just another question po, sa canning process naman po ito daw, Ma'am. Nagkaroon po ng dents yung canned products. May possibility po ba siyang masira or ma-contaminate?
Discard mo na lang po. Pag may dents mo, discard mo po. Contaminate ako, as in contaminated na po yan, mag-contaminated, legit na contaminated. Kasi po yung product po, mga lahat na kahit nasa lata po, nasa bottle, once na na-open po yan, kailangan po na i-consume mo na kaagad. Eh kung may dent na po yan, may possible po yan na kasi po ang sinasabing kanin natin, vacuum po yan. Wala po siyang air. Kaya wala po siyang microorganism na aerobic. Ang pwedeng mag-fund dyan po itong non-aerobic na microorganism. So pag may dent na po, may possible na po na may entrance na, mag-insert na po ang air. Kaya, i-discard na lang po. Don't attempt to eat po. Lalo na po kung kinakita mo, tagal na pala. So, delikado po. Kasi ang usually po nagtutubo na microorganism sa mga bottle product, Clostridium botulinum. Deadly microorganism po yan.
Okay, so kay Sir Jim Bryan po yun na question, and I hope that answers your question, sir. And warning din po, i-discard na daw po pag may dent na. Delikado daw po.
Delikado po.
And ito ma'am, final question po sa FB Live naman po to. Sa cost analysis po, kasi naka-FB Live din po tayo ma'am. Kay Sir Bert Barrios Benaflor, may cost analysis na po ba kayong ginawa dyan sa product, and magkano po ba kung ibebenta siya sa market?
Lahat po na mga product po may cost analysis po. So sabi ko nga kanina po, ang product ko po na yan, na bottles na yan, para sa akin po, sa akin wholesale, 120 per bottles. Pero nang makita ko doon sa Legazpi, nasa mga kasalubong 250 per bottle. It is not smoke. Pag nagtatawad niya nabenta ko pa doon sa Manila na ilang cartons ang binili niya, 100 per bottles. Kasi po, ang ginagamit, nagkukuha po, ang source ko po ng raw materials ko sa Pasakaw na minsan, mura man po ang raw materials. Ang pinakamahal po sa paggawa ng bottles, actually, ang mahal na presyo, actually, ang glass jar. Glass jar, pag binili mo sa LCC, 25. Pero kung bibili ka po sa Tiktilao, bigyan tayo kung saan tayo kakabili ng kung kayo mag-chat kayo, Tiktilao. 12 per glass jar. Pwede kayo magbili ng wholesale. Yan ang pinakamahal. Actually, ang laman ng isang bottles, kung isda ang pinag-uusapan, saka piso lang, mga dos lang. 5. Ang mahal pa dyan, saka yung oil, vegetable oil. You can use, by the way, parang ang pwede po magamit mo sa oil, either vegetable oil, corn oil, olive oil. Pero mas mahal po ang olive oil. Nakita ko doon sa pasalubong man, pag sinabing olive oil, parang doble ang presyo.
Ayan, thank you so much po, ma'am. And I think we have no more questions po.
Okay.
Nasagot naman po ni ma'am lahat. So thank you so much po, ma'am. So wala na pong questions. Just a final ano po ba mang masasabi ninyo sa mga future researchers natin in this field po?
Okay, so again sa mga researcher po, number 1 po, para magi kayong successful as a researcher, first thing that you are going to do is to learn how to prepare a proposal. Then, see to it that your proposal will be submitted for evaluation. Then, there are a lot of agencies that you can submit your proposal. Never give up. Kung hindi po na-accept po yung project proposal mo, never give up. Try always pag-submit lang na mag-submit. If other agency will not approve your proposal, submit it in your university because your university will always help you. Ang halos naman po ng aking mga project, university naman po ang na finance. So may malaki po ang budget ng research eh. So yan lang. And of course, lalo na sa food po, kailangan po talaga ang seryoso mo, ang time mo mag conduct ng research. And don't forget in your proposal na mayroon kang katulong. Mayroon kang research assistant, mayroon kang laboratory aid. Kasi very important po yan. Hindi ka pwede ikaw mismo lang ang maggagawa niyan. Dapat mayroon kang laboratory aid to help you producing that product. Akala niyo ako lang gumagawa niyan. Hindi po. Mayroon po akong katulong. It is included in my proposal. Labor, paano lalagay mo? Pwede lang. Tanungin mo yung finance ninyo kung anong pwedeng ilagay doon sa proposal mo. Research assistant ba? Laboratory aid or labor, etc. Basta mayroon ka pong katulong. Hindi mo po yung magagawa kung wala ka pong katulong. So yan ang po ang pinaka number 1 ko po na. And then, kung nasa laboratory ka po ng iyong school o kung saan man, kailangan po talaga ma-procure mo ang lahat na kailangan na equipment and tools. And of course, very important din po ang laboratory mo. Dapat po, base po yan, dapat nasa standard po ng Food Drug Administration. So, gamit ka ng, mag-request kayo ng mga stainless tables, dapat maayos din po ang laboratory. Kung wala pa po kayong laboratory, magpa-design na po kamo sa engineer na nasa food processing standard. So, yan po ang pinaka number 1. Kasi, kahit po ang mga university po ngayon, kailangan din po yung ating laboratory sa food, dapat na-register din sa Food Drug Administration. Dapat nasa standard po na the good manufacturing practices. Kasi, if we will produce that, if we will use that as product for commercialization of the university or the state colleges, nakakatakot kung ang product natin hindi na process na maayos o naka-poison ng consumer. So kailangan magsunod pa rin po tayo sa standard na ginagawa ng trade and food na yan. This is food drug administration. So yan po ang pinaka number 1 po. Sana po nakatulong po ako sa inyo. Marami po ako. Sana nakabigay po ako ng insight sa inyo. Gawa ng plan. And then welcome po ang lahat po na pwedeng magtanong, mag-email lang po sa akin. O kaya pwede mag-chat sa Myrna, si Bigueja, and also my email. Binigay na po nila sa inyo. Thank you so much.
Ayan, thank you so much po, ma'am. And I am sure po na nakatulong po kayo ng marami sa ating mga viewers today and very active po sila. So, sure po ako na talagang madami pong magko-contact sa inyo after nito.
Okay po.
Ayan. So, thank you again, Dr. Myrna, for your time, and we hope that more blessings will come to you and your institution. So, in behalf of BICARD, BUMD, and PAA Bicol, would like to extend our utmost gratitude to all our participants for your active participation. Thank you so much po, and please watch out for our next episodes of this online technology dissemination and training series. With that, thank you so much po and have a nice day po. Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, gusto ko
Yes po, ma'am.
Doon sa mga yung hindi sa government, yung mga nagtatry na put up ng negosyo na katulad nito o man na negosyo. Gusto ko pong ipaalam sa inyo na ako po ay registered po 1 expert ng DOST. Kung may problema po kayo sa food safety, sa thermal processing, itong tawag po nitong product na thermal processing po, you can contact the DOST and request me. Po ako, registered po nila ako ng 1 expert health technology po. And then, kung gusto po nyo, wala po kayong budget when mag-start ng negosyo po, pwede rin po kayo mag-apply sa DOST ng itong tinatawag na set-up project. Nagbibigay po sila ng pera na na hanggang sa 5 million. Pero babayaran po yan sa babayaran po yan sa 3 years na wala pong interest. So, and then ako naman po niya na isa sa mga nag-i-evaluate ng project. So, yan lang ang gusto ko pong ma-share po sa inyo kasi baka gusto niyo po talagang magkaroon kayo ng negosyo. Kahit hindi po ganitong battle products, kahit ano pong project na pwede niyong magdagdag sa inyong income, pwede po. Thank you so much po.
Ayan, thank you so much po, ma'am. And talaga po, ma'am, na madami pong magka-contact sa inyo, especially sa sinabi niyo pong yan na all-in-one po si madam. So, i-contact niyo po lang po si Ma'am Myrna sa provide po namin na email and sa Facebook niya. Very active po si ma'am. And thank you so much po, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye po.
Bye-bye po, ma'am. Thank you po.
Thank you. Ay,